Let's talk about the health and wellness of our family and kind of the essentials that we should have in our household. And one of those is a thermometer. And I'm not talking about the old thermometers that you and I used to use when we were kids, and you had to put it under your tongue and hold it there and the whole 9 yards, and it was hard to read. I'm talking about one touch, big, clear readout with a digital display that has a memory, and it can let you know when you have a high temperature. It even has an alert display on there. You can do all of that with Veridian. I think every home, there's some things that every household should have, and a thermometer, an easy to use, easy to work thermometer is one of those. This one used to be over $51 here at HSN. It is now $19.99. It comes with the batteries. I encourage you to call in and get it if you don't already have it. It's 662-501. It is one touch to give you all of that information. And we are gonna dive in with this big customer pick. Matthew Peters is joining us, and he's a registered nurse who brings us the best items from Veridian. Matthew, once again, always great to have you, especially with the items that I think everybody needs.
Yeah, you know what? This thermometer, hold the phone here, because we're going from $50 to $20 here.
Right.
We only have a few minutes here. Everybody, please digest this for a second. I'm a registered nurse. We're always looking for these infrared touch-free thermometers. That means getting that accurate temperature. We've been kind of slamming into our minds here over the last couple of years. Take your temperature, take your temperature. What if I'm sick? How do I know if I'm sick? Well, your temperature is one of those key indicators that lets you know. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to store 32 of those clinically accurate readings in memory. You're going to be able to take your temperature. So here I'm going to put it on here by pressing that big button in the middle, and I'm going to hold it up to my forehead about a half an inch away, and right like that. Let me see if everybody can get a look at that. 98.1. I know there's a little halo effect here on my end. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go through a couple of the memory readings here. So you have a memory button right there. In the middle, we can switch to Fahrenheit or Celsius. You can go back and forth, and you have a mode button. We're going to get into that in a minute. But let me go through a couple of these readings. And more important even than the reading is the color. See that pop? That's 99.7. That means that you have a low-grade fever. Now, this will beep when you take your temperature. That one's red. That means you're in the danger zone. There's another red. So you get that instant color feedback. It's going to hold 32 of those readings, either in Fahrenheit or Celsius. So the color is important, because if you're checking your child's temperature, like you saw there in that video, and you find that, you know, how do I know if it's right? It gives you that instant feedback. You could turn the beep off if somebody's sleeping. They've thought of everything. And Tamara, we talk about this all the time. If that's not enough, the mode button over here. So I'm going to turn the unit on again, right there. So yes, the unit will come on. Now here's my mode button. I'm going to change it to room temperature, so I can get an instant read of what my room is doing, 77.4. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push that again, and I'm going to go take the surface temperature. I have a baby bottle here. So if we're feeding the baby, we want to make sure that we get the right temperature of that formula. 122.2 is not the right temperature. If I'm over here instantly with this cold glass of water, I think it's cold anyway. Check that out, 49 degrees. So that's the temperature variation. Point is, Tamara, we joke around all the time. We have fun on the show about all the weird ways that we can take our temperature, and we kind of giggle about that.
Yes.
And you're giggling, I can hear you now. But the important thing is now, though, we have the technology, everybody. We have touch-free infrared technology. Don't have the applicators. You don't need those. You don't need to go out and get the ones that are going to break and have the mercury in them. Right. If you're going to upgrade your thermometer, do it today with Veridian. 3-year warranty on this product. You'll use it all year round, not just when you're sick, Tamara.
Absolutely, and it's because it's so easy. You're just gonna grab it, and it's one touch, and you're done. And it's your family and friends. It is those surfaces, or you know, or those liquids. Maybe it is something you're gonna feed to the baby or the grandbaby or what have you. And you just need to know. Sometimes it's not good enough to have an approximate. You know, some things you don't want to approximate. They have to be exact. And when you have Veridian, which gives you that one-touch readout, you can see, I can see from here it's green. I can't see the number, but I see that green. That means it's all good. It's all clear. If it were yellow or red, then you start to take action. If you had one of those old thermometers that I was giggling about that we put under our tongue, under our arm, you know, in other places, depending on your age, those were hard to use and they were not touch-free. You actually had to, you know, if somebody's sick and you had to put those old thermometers under your tongue, you have to make sure that it is cleaned before the next time you give it to that person or the next time you give it to somebody else. With this, no worries. I just have to be near and get that readout. And look, it's green. And it's that simple. Today, it's $19.99. This same thermometer with the batteries used to be more than double. So Matt, when I see this here, I know that this is literally just a must-have.
Yeah, and I'm going to say hello up north to my friend, Nurse Leslie. She's a friend of the family's. She for years spent time working with patients. You know, she appreciates this technology. Nurses around the country, doctors around the country appreciate this technology. And you know what? You will at home too. You saw there with Donna. I'm just going to put this on again. If you see this from across the room, think about it. You're at home. You have a loved one who is sick and you say, hey, how you feeling over there? And you get that green box and you can see it from a mile away, you know, okay, they're feeling a little bit better. Maybe it's safe to approach, you know? Right. So it's just one of those things that's amazing technology. And just like that, if it's not so great, we're going to see the red. I'll turn this back on again. And you know what? It's even more productive sometimes just to see the color. If I go through some of these memory readings and I see, let me get there. Look at that. Look at from a mile away. We see the orange and then we see the danger zone. It is such great technology that Veridian has, and it's all about this sensor. This is a high-grade sensor that you see on the end, and every so often, actually after every time you take your temperature, just kind of give it a good wipe down, make sure that there's no residue or anything else that's going to interfere with that signal and that, you know, accurate temperature reading that Veridian's going to give you. But they give you the 3-year warranty on the product. They've really thought about everything, and I can't say enough about Veridian as a company. Been around for 40 years, well worth it, and you need to get this home.
For sure. Easy to use, easy to understand. You don't have to be a healthcare professional and remember, well, what is my temperature supposed to be? Is it supposed to be 98.6? What if it's not? You know, not everybody is exactly 98.6. Maybe your standard temperature may be a little slightly lower than that. But when you have an easy way for you to test it, then you know when you're in your range and when you're in a high range. If a lot of us, you know, over the last couple of years, Matt, when we needed to have a conversation with our doctor, it was over Skype or something like this. And they ask you, are you running a fever? Are you running a temperature? If you don't have a thermometer, what's the answer to that question? I don't know. And this that we used to do, remember our mothers and our grandmothers used to do that? Yeah, that doesn't tell you anything.
If you have a sick spouse and they're laying in bed and they say, you know what, I can't make it. I can't do that gardening project today. You know what? Veridian's going to tell us if they can do the gardening project, because they can always take that old thermometer and put it under the light bulb next to them and look at, they're going to throw up a red on that thermometer. Not you, Tamara. You're green. You're ready to do that project.
Ready to do that. I'm ready to go mow the lawn. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's red. I got to make it red somehow. No, so remember, it's for you. It's for people. It's for surfaces. It's for the temperature, and it is one touch. And today on FlexPay, it's $6 and change, and it comes with the batteries. And the batteries are actually 2 AAA batteries. I always like to say what kind of batteries they are, because that means when the battery runs out, even though this has an auto shut off and you're going to use it over and over again before it's time for you to change the batteries, but when it is time to change the batteries, they're recognizable batteries that you already have at home. So this is that's why I say I think every household needs a thermometer, and I vote this one. Please don't miss out. It's a customer pick on hsn.com for an item that is easy to use and it works over and over and over. And Matt, thank you as always for joining us. I can't wait to see what you bring next for us.
Yeah, and everybody in America, you want to see Tamara giggle, do not take your temperature the old-fashioned way. Use Veridian, use technology. Get this home, please, before they run out. $50 to $20, can't say enough.
Thank you so much, Matt. We had a whole conversation about, well, if I didn't have something like this, how would I take my temperature? And he schooled me.